Today we're going to do an elk tenderloin preparation. We've got some, I just cut them into some medallion pieces. And season those up with some fresh ground pepper. I like using sea salt, kosher salt, a little better for you. And just a little drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. What we're going to do is we're going to grill these off to our temperature. Put those over a nice bed of rice. Again, whatever rice you prefer. You can use the quick rice or wild rice or risotto. However, whatever rice you like. We're going to assemble the tenderloin over the rice and then finish it with a shrimp scampi over top. It'll be sort of a surf and turf rice preparation. And I think you'll enjoy that a lot. We've got the elk medallion, the tenderloin medallions grilling now. We're going to, again, get that started. Get those up to grill temp where we like, whether you like rare or well, however you like to do that, get those started. We can put those in a holding pattern then. In the meantime, I want to start my scampi, my shrimp scampi saute, so that when the meat's done, we'll assemble that over our rice and just finish the dish with the shrimp scampi, and it'll be a wonderful surf and turf with the elk tenderloin. Our scampi, real quick, some butter, some olive oil. Put it in about 4 ounces. We've got the popcorn shrimp we work with. They seem to go over a little better, especially when we're going on top of the meat with our scampi. About a 1/4 teaspoon of fresh garlic pressed in there. And we'll get that sauteing. You can let the lemon in there for some garnish. That's a nice crispy scampi. That'll go great over our medallions. Let that simmer out. This is how we're going to plate it. We're putting the tenderloin pieces just centered throughout the rice very nicely. And then we'll bring that over to our station. And again, we'll just finish up with the scampi. Right over top. Some fresh parsley around the edge for garnish. And there you have it. The elk tenderloin grilled with our shrimp scampi over top on a bed of rice. Looks delicious. I hope you enjoy it. Check the website for the recipe, and buon appetito. Hi, welcome. We're in the kitchens of Franco's Lounge, Restaurant Music Club in downtown Williamsport. I'm Alfredo Daniele. I want to show you today, we have some tenderloin tips of venison, just some remnant pieces, and we've come up with this recipe. We offer it here at the restaurant. I'm going to show you the tips and torch red sauce preparation. We also offer it in a white sauce preparation, which is a white wine deglaze with garlic and olive oil. But we're going to do the red sauce preparation. We'll be working with our classic red sauce. Again, we've got probably about 6 ounces, 8 ounces of tenderloin venison tips. I've seasoned them with some salt, some fresh ground pepper. I've got a pan heating right now, and come over to the stove and I'll show you where we go from here. The idea here is to sear this meat and seal it in the flavors and juices. Again, I've seasoned it, put it in very carefully. sizes of meat portions is up to you. You use some bigger pieces, smaller pieces, however you want to prepare that. You want that nice brown, as you're seeing here. I've got about probably 8-9 ounces of beef torch. We'll put those down in one of the pasta sections and get that heated and up to temp. Now the meat, again, some of these pieces are a little bigger, so we'll continue to turn that. Make sure we're getting all the angles seared up. The meat's seared up real nice. Got some olive oil in there yet. I've sauteed in some fresh garlic. I'm going to season with a little red chili pepper to give it a little spice. And then at this point, I want to take about 2 ounces of red wine and deglaze it. Once I deglaze that with the red wine, let that simmer a few seconds, and then I want to simmer in the red sauce. Probably about a half a cup or so, 3/4 of a cup of the red sauce, right in there with the 2 ounces of any red wine you prefer to drink. If you're having it with the meal, you can open it sooner. At this point, our torts are ready to go. We'll drain those off. Simmer those into the dish as well. And let that simmer in. A couple of minutes, our final steps, and we'll be ready to serve it up. Okay, now I've simmered out, reducing some of the sauce and wine liquid. I got it to where I like the consistency. It's a thicker pan sauce. Got the delicious tenderloin of venison, the red wine, the classic red sauce. At this point, I like to sprinkle a little of the fresh grated Pecorino Romano cheese, some fresh parsley, a couple of tosses, and we serve that. This is the good stuff, so you want to get that on there as well. Some of the pan scrapings, that's where all the flavors lie. Get that on top. We also do that in a white preparation. Check the website for the recipes, and thank you. Hello, welcome back to the kitchen at Franco's Lounge. We're going to prepare for you today something a little different. We're going to use the wild boar, which again is very similar to pork, what you'd be using. We're going to put a little twist to an old favorite Italian recipe, the cacciatore recipe. Cacciatore meaning hunted game or hunter's game in Italy. A lot of times people apply it with chicken. We're going to apply it today with the wild boar fillets, the steaks that we picked up from Alan's Hunt. So what I'd like to do today is, it's a nice piece of the wild boar loin. I'm going to prep it up into strips. Well, keeping them about a 1/4 inch thick, cutting them cross-sectionally. Then I'm going to flour them up. We're going to pan fry them. Again, a real simple cacciatore recipe. And simmer it in with some green peppers, onion, some mushroom, Again, cacciatore meaning hunted and hunter's game. Whatever you got, whatever seasonal vegetable wise. You can put in potatoes if you'd like to make it a little more of a staple, hearty dish. We're just going to keep with the vegetables and the wild boar. And again, a lot of times this has been done with chicken. It's kind of a popular Americanized version of cacciatore with chicken. We're using wild boar here. You can use pork. You can use other game or fowl that you might be catching, rabbit. You know, it's just a simple recipe to prepare your game and enjoy that. We're going to season a little bit while we each side with some salt and pepper. You want your meat, in this case the wild boar, nicely browned. Just start really getting crisped up and browned off. You can pull them. We'll hold them off to the side here on our pan. Pull your meat out of the oil. You may want to drain a little of the oil off, but leave that good stuff in the bottom of the pan. Some of the stuff that sticks. It's just good pan. It's good for pan gravy, good for flavor. You don't want to discard that. I just discarded a little bit of the oil so I could, cut back a little bit. You don't want your dish overly oily either. Okay, I'm going to put the meat back in with the vegetables and get that simmering. And I'm just going to add some of our classic red sauce. Again, you can pick this up at a lot of your area markets or request it. Check out our website for it. And it's just ready to go. I'm going to pop the top and simmer in probably about a third of a jar. Yeah, maybe a half a jar. Let that simmer into the vegetables and the meat, and this looks great. There's not much more we need to do to that. The sauce is very flavorful. You've got the vegetables that we par roasted with some salt, pepper. Again, you could throw those in raw and simmer those out as well. We've got the meat in there simmered and sauteed off, browned off. It's just a matter of letting this come together. Simmer for probably about 10-15 minutes at a low to medium simmer, and we'll be ready to eat. You can serve that with a side of pasta, wild rice, just some bread, from fresh bread. Again, it's just a great way to prepare some of your wild game, and it's a real simple preparation. Cacciatore, wild boar cacciatore. Okay, hello, welcome back to the kitchen at Franco's Lounge. Today we're preparing pheasant breast parmesan. Very similar to what you would do with a chicken parmesan or chicken breast parmesan, only we have two delicious pheasant breasts we've picked up. Alan's hunted these down and brought them in, and we're going to prepare them traditionally as we would a chicken parmesan. So we'll go through that for you. What I have here, I have some flour that will dredge the pheasant breasts in. I'll go to my egg mix here, and then finally the breadcrumb, and we'll saute those off in a frying pan with extra virgin olive oil, and then just simmer in some Franco's classic red sauce, and it'll be delicious. Have that over some pasta. You'll love it. And again, we've trimmed up our breasts. They look great, and again, we'll flour. And we'll dredge in some egg mix. Again, it's just an egg whipped up. And then right into our breadcrumb. And again, the breadcrumb can be very simple breadcrumb. You can season it up with cheeses. Okay, what we've done, I've got the pheasant breast, I've floured them, egged them, I've got them in the breadcrumb. I'm ready now to bring them to the stove, and we're going to pan fry them in some extra virgin olive oil, and I've got a pan heating up right now, so I'll see you over at the stove and we'll get cooking. I got some olive oil in there heating up as well. We'll get that around the edges. Get that nice and hot. And again, we've got the pheasant breasts ready to go. Want to be careful again whenever putting things in oil, put them away from you. Don't splash yourself. Okay, the pheasant breasts are simmering and browning. We want to get a nice brown, crispy texture on those breadcrumbs and on the breasts themselves. Just check and turn these. And so that's exactly what we're looking for, a nice browning. We don't want to go too dark, but again, depending on your taste, you may want to. You might want to take that a little more brown. But that's turning out real nice. That's looking great. All right, we're going to flip these again and see how we're coming along. Again, they're browning up real well. I like that brown right there, the nice darker brown. It's even throughout the breast. It looks great. And at this point, again, we've got our Franco's Classic red sauce here. We're just going to simmer that right into the dish, right into the fry, and let it simmer in, and then you can melt some cheese over that. We'll melt some cheese over that here in a little bit. Again, about a half a jar. That'll simmer out nice. Okay, I've got the cheese. What we've used here is a sharp provolone imported. It's got a real strong, wonderful flavor to it, nice strong smell. And we've melted some of that on top of our pheasant breasts. And I'm just going to plate that up. Again, you could be plating this over some pasta. You could be plating it over some rice. You could just have it plain, like we're going to do here, and just simmer that around. Alright, then we just plate that up. A little fresh parsley on top. Wonderful dish. Again, wild game, pheasant breast parmesan. Check the recipe, it'll be right on. Buon appetito, and thank you.
Welcome back to the kitchen of Franco's. Today we are working with wild turkey breasts. We're going to grill them, baste them in a basil pesto sauce, and serve them up like that. Okay, we'll keep an eye on them. In the meantime, we're going to prepare our basil pesto sauce. Here are the ingredients for the basil pesto basting sauce. We have basil pesto, which you can get in any local grocery store. A little bit of salt, fresh ground pepper, and lemon juice, fresh lemon juice. You want to try to take the seeds out since you don't want them in your sauce. Squeeze that in there. Mix it up. A little mayonnaise, and after the turkey cools, we will make it into a turkey salad. Just like that. Want to flip it at least once before we start to baste. So you're not basting on the raw turkey. These are ready. There they are. Now we'll take them over to the cutting board. Okay, we're ready to make our turkey salad. We're going to take our turkey breasts, dice them. We're going to throw them right back in the bowl with the marinade. We'll just mix that up to absorb the rest of the marinade. Again, this is just basil pesto sauce, a little bit of mayonnaise, salt, fresh ground pepper. You can put whatever else you'd like in here. I'm going to add celery, diced scallions, and some roasted red peppers just for some color and some flavor. Because basil pesto and roasted red peppers go very well together, complement each other very nicely. Now you can either serve this on bread, make a sandwich. I'm going to put it on a bed of mixed greens and have it as a salad. And that's it. Very simple and easy, fast recipe. Something to do with your turkey, the wild turkey. Thanks, and stay tuned for the recipe.
Well, welcome to the game cooking segment. I'm here with Marie and Fred Daniele at Franco's in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Today we're going to be doing the venison meatballs. They have a great recipe for that, and just another way for us to use the venison. They're going to show us a couple techniques that they use here at the restaurant. We're going to also post every week. We're going to have the recipe for you at the end of the segment where you can write it down. We're also going to have the recipe posted on the website, so feel free to stop by alanprobst.com and pick that up. I'm going to hand it over to them, and we'll see if they can make some good venison for us.
We're starting out with 2 pounds of ground venison. And we usually do a cup of breadcrumbs per pound of meat. That's usually the rule of thumb I use. And when you're making any kind of meatball, what you should do is with your breadcrumbs, you should soak them. You don't want them too runny. You just want them moistened, actually, is a better word. With venison, it tends to be a drier meat, so you want to make sure that you moisten the breadcrumbs with warm water. Throw them in there. 2 eggs. Now for spices and herbs, we have fresh ground pepper, fresh parsley, a couple of tablespoons of that, dried basil, probably 2 tablespoons of that as well. Dried oregano, the same, 2 tablespoons. And we have salt. And garlic, probably 3 tablespoons of that. You can never have too much garlic, I always say. And we use grated Romano cheese here at the restaurant. That to me is one of the best. It's actually Pecorino Romano. So I would say a good cup or so of the grated cheese. And there you have everything in there, and Fred is going to mix it up for us.
There's no rule of thumb to these recipes. They're variations, and feel free to supplement. If something doesn't agree with you, leave it out. If you really like something, you can try to put it into the recipe as well. I think we're about ready to go here. So we're going to bake our meatballs today. And again, there's different ways of preparing the meatball. You can go with smaller meatballs, larger meatballs, however you want to serve them. We bake our meatballs. It's a healthier preparation. A lot of times people will fry the meatballs. And again, it's up to your taste and what you want to do and how you want to prepare it. When you're forming your meatballs, it is important to keep them uniform, round them out and pack them a bit. Tighten them up. If they're too loose, again, they'll break apart easier on you, and You don't want that happening. And it may not break apart right away, but as you're simmering them in sauce and waiting to serve them, that's when you'll have them break off. We're ready to put the meatballs in the oven. We portion them to a 2-ounce meatball. And again, this is strictly the venison with the breadcrumb and seasonings. We're going to add a little water to the bottom of the pan to keep them loose while they're baking. And we're going to put them in about a 500-degree oven for about a half an hour, checking them every few minutes, and bake them off. And then we'll be simmering them in our classic red sauce prior to serving them. So let's get the water in and get them over to the oven. Let's check our meatballs, see how we're doing with those. Oh, they look great.
Yeah, they do. They look fantastic.
They browned up real nice. Still loose in the pan, looking good. We're going to take these out and start simmering them in our classic red sauce and get those simmering for a while, and we'll be ready to serve them up. What we've done now is we've taken our meatballs, we've simmered them off in some of our classic red sauce here, and just simmer them however long you want.
Do I get to have that?
Yeah, I want you to try that and see what you think. Do we have a fork for you? Or?
No, we don't need a fork.
We're roughing it in the all outdoors.
Wow. That's
How's
fantastic.
that doing, all right?
That was awesome.
That looks good. I'm going to need to try one
Folks,
myself.
you gotta try this recipe. I want to thank Freddie today, and I can't even talk right now. What do you think? Pretty good?
Delicious.
Yes.
Turned out real well. They're nice and moist. Great flavor.
They're fantastic.
Very good.
We're going to show you the recipe here. You can write it down, or it will be on the website, but we'll be back next week cooking up some more game. We're going to be cooking up some of the trout that we caught, and he's got a red sauce. We're going to bake these trout. I've had baked trout before, Freddie, but I've never had baked trout in a sauce. So I'm kind of looking forward to tasting that and how you're going to prepare it.
Sure. I'm going to be working with this a lot throughout the shows. This is very exciting for us because this is a sauce we put out about 1.5 years ago within the general market region, and it's been going real well. It's a great basic sauce, nothing artificial about it, completely natural, vegan, vegetarian. You can add meats, game, cheeses, whatever you like to it. But again, we're going to be featuring this with a lot of our dishes just to introduce it and get the flavor out there for people, and hopefully you'll enjoy it.
Basically, I'm anxious to taste it.
All right, let's get started. Okay, we've prepped up our fillets. We've got a nice portion of fillets. Let's get over to the prep area and we'll prep them up and get them frying and take it from there. I'll show you real quick the baked trout recipe. It's very quick and simple, real healthy, good eat. We're going to be working with our Franco's Classic Red Sauce. And again, it's available in a lot of the area and regional markets. We've got our trout fillets ready to go. Okay, I'm going to take a little extra virgin on the bottom of a plate. And I'm just going to dredge my trout fillets in the extra virgin olive oil. I'm going to portion this out for one person. And I like a little spice to it, so we're going to hit it with some chili pepper, some fresh ground pepper, a little salt, and again we'll get this jar open here. I'm just going to put a little sauce on the bottom of a baking dish and just take these fillets, lay them right in there. Also have a little white wine that I thought I'd just along the sides here and right down the middle of the fillets. keep it loose. I'm going to put that into the oven, a 500-degree oven, and we're going to watch it, probably bring it up to temp and cooked in about 10 minutes. All right, that looks great. A couple fillets toasted up real nice on the sauce. We can garnish with a little parsley here, and that looks wonderful. Again, however you like it, I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
Well, today we're here with Maria in the kitchen, and we're going to be doing some venison chili. They have a great chili here at Franco's in Williamsport. It's like a venison and bison chili. We're going to let her take over and see if we can learn a thing or two from her.
We use black beans in our chili, and you need a can of crushed tomatoes and a can of diced tomatoes. This is large diced tomatoes. That's what we usually use. You can use small diced. It's totally up to you. Got our ground meat, our ground venison. And here we have all of our herbs and spices. Okay, so to start this, what we do is put about a cup of olive oil in the bottom of the pot. And I throw the bison in, or venison. We use, in our chili, it's bison and venison. This is just venison, so. We throw the meat in with celery, onion, sweet red, yellow, and green peppers. And you want to dice them up. Big dice, small dice, it's totally up to you. And you want to cook it, saute it with your meat. So we're just going to start. This is my cumin. It's toasted and ground. So I'm going to throw that in. Chili powder. Cayenne. If you don't want to use that, you don't have to. It just, again, all depends on your taste. If you like spicy chili, then definitely use it. Or you could use ground chipotle peppers, whatever you want. It's totally up to you. Salt. And stir that around. Get that mixed up well. We're going to add our black beans. Juice and all, definitely want the juice. Tomatoes, our crushed tomatoes. And our diced tomatoes. Stir it up. This is a very popular dish here at the restaurant. When wild game became available to us, we jumped right on that, and we changed our chili recipe. It used to be made with ground beef. There you have it. We'll just add, I'm going to add a little bit of water, probably about 3 or 4 cups, because it is really, really thick. Our chili is done, and we're going to serve some up here to Alan. It's nice and hot.
Wow.
Good.
Fantastic.
How's the spice level? It's not too spicy, is it?
No, it's not too spicy at all. It's just actually the right amount. Take a look at the recipe, and we'll be right back.
Something exciting has happened at Franco's. We now offer Franco's Classic Red Sauce, made from fresh, all-natural ingredients. If Franco's on the label, you know it has to be good. Available at Joanna's Italian Bakery, and ask for it at your favorite area supermarket.
We're in the kitchen. We're going to do a real simple fried trout fillet with eggs and potatoes. You can have this for breakfast, brunch, dinner, however you want it. We're working with the trout fillets. We're going to saute these up, pan fry them. I'm going to dredge them in a little cornstarch. We like working with cornstarch when we're frying fish because the cornstarch doesn't absorb a lot of the fats that you're frying with, and just leads for a lighter kind of crispier texture. We dredge it in some egg beat, some salt, pepper, parsley, and then we've got some cracker crumbs we're working with here today. Again, you can use breadcrumb. We have the Ritz cracker we're working with. It's a great flavor. And just, again, cornstarch, egg, right into the breadcrumb or cracker crumb. And then take that over and just lay it into your frying pan. And get that frying up. I'm going to finish up the rest of these here real quick, and we'll get over to the stove and watch our fillets. All right, we've got our trout fillets again. We've cornstarched them, some egg, and the cracker crumb. Now we've got them in a hot cast iron pan. We've got some olive oil in there. Again, whatever oil you like cooking with is fine. And we're going to turn these. They look great. They're browning up real nice. And I like to try to keep them loose. I'm going to add a little more olive oil in here. Alright, our fillets look great. They browned up, crisped up. Cook them, if you like them a little more brown and burnt, feel free to do that. I like them right about here, medium. Then what we're going to do is going to add a little more oil. At this point you can put some butter in. Had some potatoes we oven roasted earlier. We're just going to put some of those in. Some scallions. Some egg mix. Again, we're using scallions, some red beet potatoes, cut up, oven roasted to a point. Put our egg mix right in there. Cook that up however you like it. Season it up however, if you have peppers or whatever vegetables you may have. This is what we like to call a mess. Again, it's the potatoes, some vegetables, the egg, all cooked together. Just kind of tossed around and made a mess of in the pan. We'll simmer that out, let that cook up a little more. Again, you've got your potato and egg mix, the mess we call with the scallion, and your trout fillets pan fried. However you want to do it, enjoy it. Thank you.
Hi, here we are in the kitchen. Today we're going to cook some venison steaks. Now what we're going to do is put a rub of different dried herbs on the steak. Start with garlic. You can use as little as you'd like or as much as you'd like. Rub that around. You want to lay your garlic down first. That seems to work best. Add a little more. And what we'll do is put some dried herbs on now. This is pepper, salt. I have some dried oregano and some crushed red peppers to give it a little bit of a zip. So what you want to do is press it down with the spatula because we are going to grill these and we want to make sure that the herbs stay on. And we flip them over. Do the same thing to the other side. You can put whatever you'd like on these. You can add some basil or rosemary, sage, whatever you prefer. Again, salt and pepper, oregano, and I'm not going to put crushed reds on the other side, and the reason for that is it may be too spicy for some people. So we'll go over here to the grill and put them on. One thing that you want to do is every time you put anything on the grill is oil it with a cloth so it doesn't stick. They're beautiful steaks. And what we're going to do with wild game, whenever you grill it or cook it, what you want to do is do it to a temperature less than what you normally would, because it tends to not have as much fat. So you don't want to cook it medium well or well done. You want to do a medium rare. That's what we're going to do. We're going to cook these medium rare. Over here I have some mushrooms and onions caramelizing in the pan. Just added a little salt, pepper, olive oil. And you can put all different kinds of wild mushrooms in here. That would go very nice with the venison. You could use chanterelles, oyster mushrooms, portobellos. I love shiitakes. They're my favorite. I think that they would go very well here with these steaks. We don't want to cook these too long. Should only take about 3 to 4 more minutes, and we should be ready to eat. Okay, these steaks are ready. I'm going to transfer them over here to a platter. And our mushrooms and onions are done, so I'm just going to smother these steaks with them. Looks good. Alright, there you go. That's how we serve it. Stay tuned for the recipe. It'll be coming right up. Welcome back to the kitchen. Today we're going to use your venison bologna that you have. We're going to fry it. Cast iron pan. Mix with potatoes and some onion and egg. And this will be for a nice brunch that you can have. Take the skin off the bologna. Slice it on a bias. In your pan. So, half a white onion. Actually, a little bit more onion in there. You can also throw sweet peppers in here if you'd like. Red peppers, green peppers. We use red beet potatoes with the skin still on them. Throw some of them in there. Now, we're going to put a little bit of garlic in here. I know that some of you may not like to start your day with garlic, but I do. So, there it is. Okay. Go over to the stove. Okay, so we have our heat on about medium to high. Stirring this so it doesn't stick, keeping it loose. Gonna put some extra virgin olive oil in. With some salt and pepper. Keep stirring this around so everything's cooked. Then we'll scramble up our eggs and throw them in, and it'll be ready. It only takes a few minutes. This is a very quick and easy recipe. Something different to do with your bologna. Okay, here we are back at the stove. Everything looks nice and browned. Good color in here. Now we have our eggs. We'll beat them. And we're just going to scramble them into our potatoes and venison, bologna, and onion. Bologna smells delicious. You can also add whatever you'd like to this. You can make this spicy. You can put Cajun spices in it. Chipotle peppers, which is a nice dried smoked jalapeno. Gives it a really nice flavor. You can even cook jalapenos right in the pan with this mixture. Throw them in towards the end. Cheese. You can put cheese in here. Maybe some smoked Gouda, cheddar cheese, whatever you like. Possibilities are endless. Alright, this is done. Turn that off and it's ready to serve. This quick and easy recipe is coming up. Thanks.
Hello, welcome back to the kitchen of Franco's Lounge. We're going to prepare another piece of wild boar loin. And again, when you're thinking of wild boar, think pork loin. It's delicious. It's very similar. I mean, it's exactly what you would think of as pork loin. It's probably even healthier for you when you want to look at the fact that they don't inject it with a lot of antibiotics or hormones or anything like that. It's naturally raised and roams free. You hunt it, you harvest it just like you would a whole pig, and you can break it down like a whole pig. Again, the pork loin, very lean, healthy piece of meat. What we're going to do with it today, I'm just going to grill it, very simply grill it with a soy sauce. We use a tamari soy sauce. It's a natural soy sauce. There's no MSG added to it, and it's a low sodium tamari soy sauce. What I do also is I mix it with some minced ginger. We get our minced ginger in bulk with it's already minced and prepared. If you want, you can get a hand of ginger, grate it fresh. But I prepared a little basting liquid here. It's the natural soy sauce, it's tamari, with the minced ginger and some fresh ground pepper. Don't put any salt in because again the soy is salty enough. But we're going to grill this and baste it as we're grilling it, and it's going to give it a wonderful flavor. And again, it's a great piece of meat. It'll go well on the grill. I'm just going to put this on plain. I'm not going to salt or pepper it. The flavoring is going to be as we're marinating and basting on the grill. So I'll just put that on the hot grill, let that get started. Again, you can add garlic, and you're basting and basting it while you're grilling it, and it turns out wonderful. So let me just flip that. I always like to flip first and then start my baste. And again, put it right on there. You want pieces of the ginger on that. If you're working with garlic, you want pieces of the garlic right on that. You want that simmering and grilling right into the meat. All right, we're going to plate the wild boar loin. And what I've done is I've prepped up a quick stir fry to serve that over as a side accompaniment. I got some of our homemade pasta here, and I've sauteed some vegetables with some light oil and seasoning. And I'm keeping that real simple and fresh and plain. And I'm just going to put that on the bottom. And I just want to drizzle a little more baste on top of that just to make it look nice and simmer it in. And that looks great. Again, we've got our wild boar loin with the soy ginger based over some fresh vegetables and pasta. Check the recipe, it'll be right up, and check us on the website, francoslounge.com. Buon appetito. Hello, welcome back to Franco's Lounge in the kitchen. We're going to work with some fowl, some game that Alan's been hunting. This is some pheasant quarter legs. You have the thigh and leg here. A lot of times people, it's tough to decide what to do with that. It's tedious to bone them and peel them back all the time. What I'm going to do is salt and pepper them lightly. I'm going to grill them with a balsamic vinaigrette that we use here at Franco's, and it works wonderfully when you're grilling items, especially chicken or turkey, different fowl or game. I'm going to bring it over to the grill and start grilling it. As I turn it once, I'm going to baste it with this, again, balsamic vinaigrette. You can use any kind of, I would think any kind of vinegar or oil you like. And again, what happens is as you're basting it on the grill, some of that stuff is hitting the coals and helping smoke the meat, and it really gives it a wonderful flavor. So come on over. Okay, now we're on the grill. I've laid the pheasant quarters on the grill. We're cooking the one side. As I flip them, that's when I like to start to baste with whatever you may be basting. Again, today we're using a balsamic vinaigrette. It's our balsamic, a really dark, hearty balsamic vinegar with some olive oil. It's whipped together, some seasoning, and we're just going to baste that over the grill and baste that over the quarters, the pheasant quarters. It goes on a little thick, but that's good. And what's happening now is you're seeing it's flaming up. What's happening is some of that oil and vinegar is hitting the grill coals and smoking it. So you're actually kind of going to smoke it as well while you're grilling it. So I'm going to put a good amount on here. If you're at home in your yard on your barbecue, you can close your lid. If you have an open one similar to what we have here, I'll just lay a restaurant pan over that and let that kind of heat, cook, and then smoke from that stuff dripping, that good oil and balsamic dripping on the coals. That'll help smoke that those pieces of pheasant quarters as well. It's going to take a few minutes, probably 10 to 15, to cook through and get through to the bone on the pheasant quarters. It's going to be a wonderful smoked, very flavorful with the pheasant itself and the complement of the balsamic vinaigrette. So a few more minutes and we'll be ready to serve that up. And again, wild rice, some vegetables. You can serve that over some tossed pasta, maybe a lighter a pesto perhaps. Some potatoes, however you like to accompany it. Okay, we're ready to plate our pheasant quarters. We've been grilling. They're smoked up. They're marinated very well on the grill. What we've done here, we've got some zucchini, some of our homemade pasta that we prepare here every day at Franco's Lounge with our basil pesto. It's a nice herby, basil-y flavor. It'll go great with the balsamic and olive oil on the pheasant quarters. Some carrots to garnish. I'm going to plate this up and get it out while it's nice and hot still, but there you are. We got the pheasant quarters, our basil pesto, some vegetables. It'll be delicious. Enjoy. Buon appetito.